Is it appearing my screen as students?
Yes, sir. Appearing, sir.
Yes, sir.
So yesterday we were discussing about design of crankshaft. So we are designing the crankshaft based of two criteria. First one is the maximum bending moment, nothing but just wait. So first one is the on the criteria maximum bending moment, nothing but when the crank is at a dead center. Next one is at an angle, it is subjecting to maximum twisting moment. So based on these two criteria, we were discuss about this design of crankshaft. So in the second part, we left the what is that in the second part when the crank is at an angle of maximum twisting moment. So this is the position of the crank at an angle. Okay, here on this shaft there may be mounting the facilities created. Mounting is nothing but flywheel is going to mounted or belts are used to here to rotate the radiator facility. So that's the reason this extra diameter shaft is provided here. Okay, so here whatever the forces acting, that all forces we resolved here and we solved one by one, isn't it? And broadly there's a two types of forces are acting here: tangential force and radial force. So because of tangential force there is a two horizontal forces are there, so that I written here ht1 and ht2. And because of radial force hr1 hr2, and because of belt tension there's two reactions v2 v3. And because of pulley nothing but flywheel weight, there are two vertical reactions are there, and resultant forces also we calculated. So these are all going to use in the further calculations of the design of crankshaft. So this is the crank pin design. This we discussed yesterday, design of shaft. And now we are designing in third point, design of shaft at the juncture of the right hand of the crank arm. So where is the juncture here? So I will show you here. A design of shaft at the juncture of the right hand of the crank arm. So which one is the right hand? Maybe this one or maybe this one. Okay. So at the juncture here or here or here or here, the shaft we need to design. Okay, so that we are designing here. So while designing, what we are taking here, see, because the shaft you can see in this animation video, connecting rod is continuously creating the thrust on the crank pin here. So because of that reason, what happened, these crank waves are sometimes subjecting to the twisting, nothing but here at the juncture here. So here at the juncture, the shaft sometimes subjecting to the um, torsion, sometimes it is subjecting to the bending. Okay, so bending, torsion, what I'm telling, bending and torsion. So that reason, bending means bending moment I have to calculate first, and torsion means how much torque transmitted by shaft, that I have to calculate. So both two different criteria are occurring here. So that reason, equivalent torque equation I am going to select, and I will submit these two equations here. Okay, and here the maximum possibility of the crankshaft is when the shaft is subjected to the torsion. So the torsion equation I'm going to write here, pi by 16 into sigma s into d cube. And this is a one equation, this is the second equation, and I'm comparing these two equation, we will get the answer. What answer here? Here, diameter of the shaft at the juncture of the right hand crank arm. Okay, so that I'm solving now. See, now see here, first one, bending moment, because the crank pin at the juncture is subjecting to the bending moment. So what is the bending moment here? R1 into B2 plus LC by 2 plus T by 2 minus FQ into TC by 2, sorry, LC by 2 plus T by 2. This is the maximum bending moment at the juncture. Okay. And twisting moment at the juncture of the right hand crank arm is twisting moment TS1 is tangential. Because of the tangential force, this twisting moment is generating crank radius. Okay. Now, if there was like a, instead of having TS1, if there was a MS2, so I am going to prefer the resultant force like a um, ms1 square plus ms2 square. Okay, but here what is happening, one time is a bending moment, one time is a torsion. So the reason I am selecting the equivalent torque equation, that is square root of ms1 square plus ts1 square. Now this is of one equation. And the general equation when the torque when the shaft is subjected to the torque transmitted by the shaft is pi by 16 into sigma s into d cube. This is the second equation. So now I am equating the equation 1 equal to equation 2. So I'm writing here pi by 16 into sigma s into d cube square root of m s1 maximum bending moment, maximum torsional moment. So this will be calculated by previous equations what we calculated in the beginning of this topic. This also calculated, and this will be given permissible limit of the material. And which one is the unknown here? The D is the unknown here. Design of shaft. So design of shaft nothing but we are calculating the size of the shaft at the juncture. So DS1, already D parameter we use D notation. So that reason I'm giving the different notations here. Okay. So here, what equations you have to remember? If you remember this equation, only this equation, enough for calculation the answer in numericals. Because in examination, for particularly design of IC engine parts, the derivation is not going to ask. Only the question paper asks to solve the numericals, not derivations. Remember this point. Okay. And this is the one C point. And the D is a design of right hand crank web. So right hand crank web. So web means this is the one. Okay. This right hand crank web portion we are designing here. So to design this crank web, thickness of the crank web and um width of the crank web, these are all going to take into considerations. Okay. So the right hand crank web is subject into the following stresses. What are those? First one is the first one is the bending stress. Bending stress. So bending stress. This is due to radial and tangential component of FQ. So whatever the FQ is acting on the shaft, because of this FT, there are two types of components are there, radial and tangential. So because of these two, then there will be a bending stress. Second one is a direct compressive stress. Compressive stress. So this is due to FR, radial force. And the third one is a torsional stress. Torsional stress due to the continuous rotation of this one. So the maximum bending moment due to this FQ forces. So the equation I'm writing. maximum bending moment, that is HR2 minus B1 LC by 2 minus T by 2. So HR2, where is HR2? I'm showing the figure, main figure. So HR2, so this is, so see here, bending moment HR2. So where is HR2 here? HR2 into B1 to B1 minus LC by 2. This is the length of the crank pin, LC, and thickness of this crank web, T by 2. Okay, so this is a bending moment. And bending moment we can also calculate from the bending stress equation, that is bending moment maximum by section modulus. So with this maximum bending moment we can also write as a bending stress into what is that, section modulus. Okay, now what is the section modulus here? Sigma b into r section modulus. So for this particular, this cross sectional, the web portion, this particular cross section, what is the section modulus here? uh, 1 by 6 into width of this one into thickness of this one. Sorry, width means this is a one, width and thickness. This is the total is the width and thickness square. Now what is the BR here? Radial bending stress. Okay, and this one is a number one equation and this one is a number two equation. And now equating the equation number one, equation number two. So by equating these two equation, what we'll get? We'll get the sigma BR in megapascal. So why we are calculating? Here after calculating sigma BR, we are going to comparing with the permissible limit value. Okay. So whether our calculated previously, whatever we proposed, that values are under safe limit or not going, are here going to check here. And now bending moment due to the tangential force FQ, the maximum bending moment at the junction of the crankshaft is MT equal Ft into R minus ds1 by 2. Now this is a equation number 3. Okay, and now another equation we have, same equation. What is that? Um, See here, this is the bending moment due to the radial force. Now I am taking tangential component. So that reason bending moment tangential is sigma b into tangential into section modulus. So what is section modulus here? Sigma b into t into section modulus. What is that? Um, 1 by 6 into b, sorry, t w square. This is the fourth equation. Now equate the equation number 3, equation number 4. So with this, after equating this what will get? Bending moment in megapascal. Okay, ma? And now direct compressive stress. So this is the first one is a bending stress due to the FQ, radial and tangential component we calculated. Second stress is a direct compressive stress. So direct compressive stress is here due to the radial force. Direct compressive stress is acting force by area. Area is how much? 2 into W into T. So two sides the area is failure area is occurring. So the reason 2 into W into T. Okay. So the maximum compressive stress will occur at the upper left corner of the cross section of the crank. Okay. Now total compressive stress how much? Total compressive stress is bending stress due to radial component, bending stress due to tangential component, bending stress due to the direct compressive. So if A are add these are all things, we will get the total compressive stress. Now the last one is the tangential stress, torsional stress. So torsional stress is due to the tangential force or nothing but twisting moment of the shaft. So twisting moment is that nothing but torque we need to calculate. So torque calculating T H HT1 into B2 plus LC by 2 minus FT into LC by 2. So simplifying this one, HT2 B1 minus LC by 2. So twisting moment I'm taking C above from this figure, HT1 into B2, HT1 into perpendicular distance B2 plus LC. Where is LC here? This is the LC, length of the crank pin here. LC by 2 minus FT. The FT is acting in this direction. This HT is acting in this direction. So the reason I'm subtracting from the each other. Okay. So FT into B1, FT into B1 minus LC by 2. This half portion. So like that twisting movement I'm taking. Okay. So that I written here. Okay. And shear stress due to the uh, subjective to torsional. So from the torsion equation, shear stress is how much? From this relation, T by J is equal to shear stress by R. With this relation, I'm calculating. So what is that? Shear stress equal T by ZP section modulus. So T by ZP is nothing but um, 4.5 T by W T square. Directly I'm writing section modulus value. Now maximum this we calculated. Sigma S is equal to 4.5 T by W T square. Okay. And now see here, this is the compressive stress due to the radial, due to the tangential, due to the direct. And these are all the similar, same manner. And this is a purely different due to the torsion. Shear stress is acting. Due to the shear means tangential force is acting here. Here, tensile, compressive, same nature is same here. So finally, what I am taking here, maximum normal stress theory. Normal stress theory I'm taking sigma normal stress theory equal sigma c by 2 plus 1 by 2 square root of sigma c square plus 4 shear square. So why I'm taking this one? See at the beginning what I told, the crank will be subjected to the bending stress, direct stress, and the torsional stress. So direct stress due to the this F and T, compressive stress due to the R. So these are the three are the same in nature, but this is the tangential forces acting here. So the reason two different these two are combining one, and this is the one. So two different nature of the stresses are generating here. So that reason maximum normal stress theory I'm considering here. Okay. So maximum normal stress theory. So maximum normal stress theory I'm considering. So this already we discussed in the DME subject, theories of failure. So this is a equation. After calculating this value and this value, directly we can substitute here. And with this sigma c maximum, the value of sigma c should be within the safe limits. This should be in a safe limits. Safe limits. So what happened exceeds the safe value, the dimensions w, uh, the dimensions w, the dimensions w. If this maximum normal stress increases, what happens? The w value whatever we propose, that is going to change here. So after changing this value, again substitute here where the w is required, again substitute here and get the safe limits value. And the next one is the design of left hand crank web. So left hand crank web is nothing but, so till now what we discussed, right hand side, same procedure we have to adapt, but the values are going to change. But finally we have to remember this equation. So no need for, because the examination is not asking about the derivation part, so you people better remember this part. So if you remember these three equation, you can find out the right hand side and you can also find out the left hand side. Okay. And this is the design of crankshaft bearing. So the crankshaft, in crank case, the crankshaft is going to sit in the bearing only. Okay. So here design of crankshaft bearing. So we are designing the crankshaft bearing. So here mostly using the two bearings at the one end, one is at the two ends. Okay. And here mostly these bearings are subjected to the heavy loads and should be checked for the safe bearing pressure. So we are checking here safe bearing pressure. So safe bearing pressure, we have to check the safe bearing pressure. We have to calculate the reactions for the here at the second end. At the second end, so second end is the reaction number two. So Fp by 2 plus W by 2. So W by 2 is the weight of the flywheel by 2 plus T1 plus T2 by 2, belt tensions by 2. So why I'm taking second side? Because the second side only maximum magnitude is acting. So the reason the reactions at the second side we are I'm calculating here. So total bearing pressure is R2. R2 is nothing but force, reaction force into L2 into DS1. Okay. Now this is the equation 1 and this is the equation 2. Equation 1, equation 2. Okay. So equating these two, length of the bearing is going to calculate it in mm. Okay. So this is the design portion of the crankshaft, when nothing but center crankshaft. Whatever we designed yesterday topic and today topic, center crankshaft. So center crankshaft means this is the one. This is the whatever the animation video is here appearing here. This is a center crankshaft, and now we are designing the side crankshaft. So side crankshaft means, see you can find the shape of the side crankshaft means it is having the only single web. It is having the only single web, and in the animation video also you can find the single web portion of the crankshaft, that is side crankshaft. So this side crankshaft, single overhang crankshaft also we have to design in the same manner what we discussed in the previous class, means previous topic. So here the first one is the in the previous center crankshaft we discussed about based on the two criteria. First one is based on the dead center, nothing but maximum bending moment it is subjecting. Second one is at an angle maximum twisting moment what happening. So these two, based on these two criteria we design the crankshaft. Here also for the side crankshaft or hang crankshaft based on these two criteria, what is the dead center and at an angle maximum twisting moment. Based on these two criteria we are going to designing here. So remember one point, Babu, examination the derivation part is not going to ask. Okay, only the whatever the equations we are getting at the final, that equations are very important to solve the numerical one. Okay, so here also when the dead crank is at the dead center. So here let's consider capital D is the piston bore diameter in mm, and P is the maximum gas pressure Newton per mm square, its units, and W is the weight of the flywheel. Here the extra diameter is provided here, the provision for the flywheel or belt connections. So flywheel is balancing this one, and flywheel is used to give the energy whenever it is required, and belts are provided here to rotate the radiator fan or other purposes. Okay, so that all going to act on the this portion. So that reason whatever the forces reactions are generating here, that also we are taking into consideration. So W is the weight of the flywheel in newtons, and T1 plus T2, T1 plus T2 here it is appearing here. That is the resultant belt tension in newtons. Okay, and the gas load is acting on the piston. How much here? So as usual, we know this one CFP is equal to pi by 4 into D square into gas pressure, maximum gas pressure. Okay, and due to this FP, there is a two horizontal reactions. Due to this FP, there will be a two horizontal reactions. You can find here H1 and H2. Okay, so what are those? I'm calculating now. See here, H1 moment taking moment about this H point. So H1 into B, H1 into B, so H1 into B equal FP into here the piston, here the connecting rod is connected here. Okay, so this connecting rod attached to the piston, whatever the gas pressure is creating, that is distributed to the that is transferred to the piston through the connecting rod to the this pin. So that is the whatever if the gas force is acting, that equating to here, that is this one. So due to this one there will be two horizontal reactions H1 and H2. So taking moment about this point H here, so H1 into B, FP into A plus B, FP into A plus B. Okay, so now what is H1? FP into A plus B by B. And now what is H2? Here it is the H2. So H2 is H2 into B, H2 into B equal FP into A. A. So H2, what is the H2 value here? FP into A by B. So here you need to remember this, whatever the rectangle boxes I am creating on the equation, that are important. Rest of the things are not important here. Only if you remember this rectangular boxes whatever the equations I'm writing inside the rectangular boxes, that equations are important. Okay. And due to the weight of the flywheel, there will be two vertical reactions that are V1 and V2. V1 and V2. So what are those now? So I'm taking the moment about V1. Where is the V1 here? Here it is the V1 and here it is the V2. So taking moment about this side. So first V1 into B, V1 into B equal W into B1, W into B1. So what is that? V1 equal W into B1 by B. Now in the same manner, V2. V2 into B equal W into B2. That is WB2 by B. Okay. And now, due to the belt tensions T1 plus 2 acting horizontally, there will be two horizontal reactions. Are what are those? H1, H2 dashes. See here, H1, H1 dash, V1, H2, H2 dash, V2, H2, H2 dash, V2. Now, due to this T1 plus T2 belt tensions, there are two reactions H1 dash, H2 dash, H1 dash, and H2 dash. So, what is H1 here? Taking moment H1, um, H1 dash into B equal B1. Taking moment about this point, H1 into B, H1 dash into this B equal T1 plus T2 into B1. B1. Now, what is H1 dash? T1 plus T2 into B1 by B. Now, what is H2? H2 we can easily find, right, we can easily write T1 plus T2 into B2 by B. Now, see here, see here, total how many equations? Number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Total 7 equations are here. So, in examination, because the exam is not going to ask to derive these all things, only question is asking to solve the numerical type problems. So if you remember these 7 equations, you can easily solve. Not particular these 7, whatever the upcoming the equations, whatever those, okay, what are there in previous coming upcoming equations, that also you have to remember. Okay, this is the basic things what we required in this diagram that we are calculating here. Now one by one we are calculating, designing of the crank pin. So where is the crank pin here? Here it is the crank pin. So here crank pin we can find. Okay. So that crank pin we are designing. So crank pin is the diameter of DC. How much in mm? LC is the length of the crank pin in mm. And BP is the bearing pressure acting on the crank pin. Its value is given 9.8 to 12.6 Newton per mm square. This value you have to remember about. And due to the FP gas force acting, so gas force is acting on the here because of a explosion of this gas, the pressure is creating downwards on the surface of the piston. So because of this one, what happening? This gas force is taken by the piston and transferred to the connecting rod and transferred to the crank pin here. Okay. So how much this one gas force, that is bearing pressure due to the side thrust of the piston, bearing pressure equal to gas force by area. So Fp equal bearing pressure into area. So bearing pressure into area. What is the area here? D into L. dc into L. Okay. Fp equal bearing pressure into dc into Lc. Write it as a equation number 1. Okay. Here bearing pressure is given. Okay. Force is acting on the piston. How much? Force is acting on the piston. How much? Fp equal pi by 4 into d square into Pb, maximum gas pressure. So with this equation, Fp is calculated. Now this is second equation. Now equation 1, equation 2, we'll get the DC value. Okay. And now if we know the DC value, LC value easily we can find out. What is the LC here? The relation, empirical relation is given. LC is equal to 0.65 to 0.15 times the diameter of the pin. That is 0.65 DC to 0.15, sorry, 0.15, 1.5 DC. Okay. Now, after calculating this diameter, we have to check for the bending stress. So if it assumed as a crank pin acting as a cantilever beam and the load on the crank pin is uniformly distributed, the maximum bending moment will be Fp into Lc by 2. So see here why I'm considering uniformly distributed load. So why I'm considering as a uniform distributed load. See here the connecting rod here covering the total entire portion of the crank pin. So whatever the force is coming from the piston, that is distributed entire length of the crank pin here. And crank pin here considering as a cantilever beam. This is a cantilever beam and uniformly distributing load. Okay. And there will be a maximum bending moment, that is Fp into Lc by 2. But in actual practice, the bending pressure, nothing but bearing pressure on the crank pin is not uniformly distributed, because the greatest value of bending moment, this Fp into Lc by 2 and Fp into Lc, Fp into Lc, two magnitudes are acting there. Okay. So the reason the mean, this is a one magnitude, this is another magnitude, two magnitude acting on the crank pin, because this is the bending moment due to the, by considering this one, this is the because of the continuous subjecting to the fluctuating. So these two forces are magnitudes acting on the crank pin. So here mean value we have to take, because two magnitude we are facing here. So that reason mean value we have to take, that is the mean nothing but 3 by 4 into Fp into Lc. Okay. Now maximum bending moment. So maximum bending moment is force is nothing but this is a magnitude, force into distance, that is maximum bending moment 3 by 4. This is on force into perpendicular distance, that is the FP into LC. Okay, and now section modulus for the crank pin. So crank pin is having the circular section. So section modulus is pi by 32 section modulus Z pi by 32 into DC power 3. Okay, now bending stress equal maximum bending moment by section modulus. And now see here, if we don't know the maximum, here bearing pressure is given, but gas pressure if we don't know, suppose if we don't know the gas pressure, we don't we if we don't know, we can't get the FP value, and if we don't know the FP value, we can't get the DC value. So at this time, we need to assume the DC value. Okay, if the gas pressure is given, easily we can find out the FP and substituting here, and we'll get the DC value. If maximum pressure is not given, that what at the time what we have to do, we have to calculate the DC value. We have to just assuming, not calculating, just assuming the DC value. After assuming, automatically we'll get the LC value because this is a range. And now based on this LC and DC value, we are calculating the bending stress. So what is the bending stress here? Bending moment by section modulus. This is a bending moment. This is a section modulus. So DC we assumed value. LC we assumed based on the assumption LC value got. So after based on assumptions, we are calculating the sigma B. Okay. Now after calculating the sigma B, if our calculated sigma B is getting the less than the permissible value, then whatever the our we proposed previously, that DC and LC, whatever we proposed, that proportions are under safe limits. If we are exceeding this permissible value, this our calculated value, so then what we have to do again, we have to take the another value of DC and substitute the DC value here and get the LC value and substitute in these equations and get the sigma B value, check for the safe, whether it is safe condition or not. Okay, and now this is a design for the bearings. So same procedure what we practiced in the previous case, here also same procedure we are going to take. The total bending moment at the flywheel location will be the resultant of the horizontal bending moment due to the gas load and the belt pull, and vertical bending moment due to the flywheel weight. Okay, here um, bending moment at the center of the bearing is FP gas force into 0.75 into LC plus T plus 0.5 into L1. Now what is LC here? LC is the length of the crank pin. What is the T here? T is nothing but thickness of the crank web. Its relation is 0.45 DC to 0.75 DC. And now what is the L1 here? L1 is the length of the bearing, that is 1.5 DC to 2 DC. And we know that maximum bending moment pi by 32 into sigma B into D1 power 3. What is the D1 here? D1 is nothing but bearing diameter. Okay, so this is the first equation and this is the second equation, equating the equation 1 to equation 2. Okay, so with this what we are going to calculate, we are going to calculate the this one pi by 32 into sigma B into D1 power 3 equal FP into 0.75 into LC plus T plus 0.5 into L1. So after equating this one equation and second equation, sigma will be whatever the given in the permissible value that we have to take, Babu. Don't take the whatever we got here. This is only for the checking purpose. Okay. So sigma b permissible value and fp we calculated. Okay. And as is previously we calculated, L1 is the relation is given. Okay. Substitute all this value. One is which one is the unknown? D1 is the unknown. What is D1 here? Bearing diameter. Now next one is the design of crank web. So crank web, same procedure in we practice in the previous case. Here also same procedure we have to take. When the crank is at the dead center, the crank web is subjected to the bending movement and direct compressive. First one is the bending movement. Bending moment. Second one is the direct compressive stress. The crank web is going to here. The web we can find here. So this crank web is going to subject into the bending moment and direct compressive web, compressive stress. Now maximum bending moment how much? So maximum bending moment I'm calculating here. Maximum bending moment is Fp gas force into 0.75 into Tc plus zero point 0.5 into T. Okay. And the section modulus for the web portion, web is having somewhat width, somewhat thickness. So that is 1 by 6 into W into T square. So remember for the design of crankshaft, section modulus is a blindly fixed in the mind 1 by 6 into W T square. Now what is the direct bending stress? Because of the bending moment, direct bending stress is going to act. How much that one? Maximum bending moment by section modulus. That is Fp into 0.75 into Tc, zero point 0.5 into T. What is the bending section modulus? That is W into T square. Okay, this is the one. And now direct compressive stress. So direct compressive stress is due to the gas force. That is the direct compressive force is Fp by area W into T. Now total stress acting on the web is total stress acting on the web is direct bending and direct compressive. So how much the this is the one, and this calculate separately these two and substitute here. Total stress is acting on the uh, web portion we'll get. Okay. Now the thing is, after getting the total stress, we have to compare with the standard permissible limit. Means our total value should be less than the permissible value. Permissible limit. It means whatever the stresses we calculating here, that should be under safe limits. So what we have to do, and if we have to keep in a safe limits, if we have to keep in a safe limits, what we have to do, we have to get the answer total that should be less than the permissible value. It means within the permissible limit it should be get. Okay. Now the D point, design of shaft under the flywheel. So under the flywheel, I said one thing at the beginning. What is that? The provision is here given to provide the flywheel and to provide the belts. So under the flywheel, how much the shaft diameter we have to maintain? That is ds in mm. So the total here, to calculate this one, first we have to see what type of the shaft is subjecting to the stresses. So see here, this is the shaft. It is subjecting to the torsion, and as well as because of this one, the bending moment. This is a bending moment and this is a torsion. Two different criteria are generating. So what are those? I'm writing here: maximum bending moment. First one, due to the gas pressure or gas force Fp into A plus B2 minus H1 into B2. So what is that? H1 H2 into B1. This is due to the gas force. Another maximum bending moment I'm calculating, that is H1 dash B2, otherwise H2 dash B1, otherwise T1 plus T2 into B1 B2 by B. So this is due to the tension, belt tension, and this is due to the flywheel, flywheel. Okay, so maximum bending moment, bending moment I calculated, and total horizontal movement is, so I'm giving the number 1 and number 2. So total is m1 plus m2. Okay, and the vertical movements. So these are all the horizontal movements based on the horizontals here. This is a horizontal force we are applying here. Now based on the vertical movements, otherwise, okay, only one is there, vertical movement, that is V1 into B2, otherwise V2 into B1, otherwise W into B1 plus B1 B2 by B. So here bending moment, total bending moment due to the horizontal, total bending moment due to the vertical. So one is a horizontal, one is a vertical. Now what is the resultant here? That is R. So bending moment resultant is square root of m horizontal square plus m vertical square, isn't it? And now we also know that resultant bending moment for the shaft when it is subjecting to the bending moment pi by 32 into ds power 3 into sigma b bending stress. So this is the one equation, this is the second equation. If I equate this one equal to 2, pi by 32 into ds power 3 sigma b equal mh square, horizontal bending moment plus vertical moment square. So this we calculated with these equations, v and h, and the permissible value will be given in the question. Which one is unknown here? Design size of the shaft under the flywheel, that is ds how much. Okay, now the second criteria, first one is when the crankshaft at the dead center, means subjecting to the maximum bending moment. Now when the crankshaft is at an angle of maximum twisting moment, means it is subjecting to the maximum twisting moment. So this is a side crank. You can see the difference of the first crankshaft, center crankshaft, and side crankshaft. Okay. Considering the piston of the, so here, now see here, considering the position of the crankshaft at an angle of maximum twisting moment in this manner, whatever giving in the figure, whatever I'm showing on the screen, and there will be a FQ force is acting due to the gas force. That FQ force is having the two components. One is the tangential component, one is the radial component. Okay. Again, this Ft is having the two components. Ft is having the two components, that is horizontal force 1, horizontal force 2. Again, this radial force is having the two components. One is the Fr, radial force 1, radial force 2. So what are those? We have to calculate separately. It's okay, Babu. We'll discuss in the next class this topic. Total is 19 members. Last class, sir. ఓకే కంటిన్యూ చేస్తారా?